Legislation named after the late George Floyd could actually change many things in America, particularly our policing. Congressman Mark Pocan weighs in on the issue. Check it out, leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Congressman Pocan, welcome back. What's on your mind this morning?
Hey, Tom, glad to be here. I think probably a little celebration still from the verdict yesterday. Watching my good friend Keith Ellison, the former chair of the Progressive Caucus, now the Attorney General in Minnesota, say, that this opens the door for a reset button on race relations. And I think that's a good way of putting it. This provided some accountability, but certainly I don't think what I would fully call justice, because George Floyd is still dead. But this did send a powerful signal that, police aren't above the law, that we have a problem with race relations specifically among policing. And we've done bills in Congress to address that. But to see that verdict, I think that sent a really important signal. And I hope Attorney General Ellison is right, that this can press that reset button. So I think that's, even though we're very busy in Congress doing lots of other things, I think that was very significant and on front of many of our minds.
And one of the things that came out of this is a piece of legislation that has passed the House. It's waiting for consideration in the Senate right now. The George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, if I'm remembering the title correctly.
Yes.
Can you share any of the details of that with us?
Well, it goes after a number of issues we've had, including the particular type of hold that was used in this now, I guess, murder is the best way to put it. It addresses a number of other issues, like keeping a database on police officers that do commit, these types of acts. It's a fairly comprehensive, certainly not fully comprehensive, but fairly comprehensive bill that now is sitting at the Senate. And if the Senate can figure their way around the rather arcane rules that they have, I think they have a chance to move it forward, because I don't think you're going to see Republicans still rushing forward to do the right thing. It's just not been what we've seen in Washington these days.
That would be a fine thing. Well, let's pick up phone calls and see what's on people's minds today. Pam in Chicago, you are on the air with Congressman Pocan.
Good morning. We do have some relief with this verdict, Tom and Congressman, but very specifically, I wanted to ask about the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. It seems like a very, contentious point is the qualified immunity. And it is my sincere hope that Biden does not negotiate on that point. Additionally, I wanted to ask you, Congressman, there has to be something done about identifying the officers that exhibit racist behaviors and have racist tendencies and have affiliations with hate groups. And the vetting process that comes to mind for me is the same vetting process that was used to eliminate those National Guardsmen from the Capitol. Whatever vetting process was used, we now need this with our entire law enforcement community at all levels. And I'm asking what possibility, maybe an additional piece of legislation, but we have to, Tom, weed out the racist on the force. We have to prevent it. We have to do polygraph tests and whatever we can. It's not the end-all, be-all, but it's a great start, and I'll hang up and listen. And please comment to that. Eliminating the racist officers, identifying and eliminating them from the force. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
Well, thank you, Pam. So first, I would say part of the bill does keep a database of an officer who does something like this. So unfortunately, that's only once there's been an action. Doesn't still address your question, but at least you'd have a database of officers so that hopefully another department won't pick up one of these officers that's already done an infraction. I know another piece of legislation that looks directly at the military for this, and I'm not sure if police are included. I'd have to look at it a little closer, Pam, but it does get after more of what you said, a more comprehensive way to address it. And then finally, Pam, I would just say, a bill I introduced was a bill to try to have uniform training standards for all law enforcement personnel, no matter where you are in the country, so that as an individual who might be stopped by the police, whether you're in Maine or Chicago or LA, that you're going to have the same rights as an individual, and you know what to expect because there's been a uniform basic standard of training. And that's not part of the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, but to me, that's also very important because I think, again, it provides that standard. Not only do you root out some of the folks that might be racist on police forces, but also make sure that everyone knows what to expect if you have an encounter with a law enforcement officer, both from the law enforcement side and from the individual side. And I think that would also help to address some of your concerns, Pam.